Today we have with us a very enterprising couple. They are both engineers and they are involved in a very interesting startup. Hello, everyone. Good to be with you once again. I'm very, very happy to have with us Nidhi Agrawal and Ajai Agrawal. Both are engineers and they are running a very, very interesting startup. Let's hear from them. Nidhi, please go first.
Thank you so much, Dr. Subodh, for this kind intro and inviting us here. Yes, my small intro is I'm basically an engineer and I was in telecom industry for 22 years. And then I started my stint with Ajay, who was, who was a serial entrepreneur and also into this agriculture technology domain for last 22 years. So I thought, since I have done already corporate so much and wanted to bring all the technology into this new area, which is much needed area where GDP of India is almost 20% and more than 50% people are involved. So I think technology is going to change a lot in this area and already started showing that. So while not, why start somewhere else? So I joined Ajay and in 2019, and since then it is a very interesting story. We are trying to bring the changes in through our technology in marketplaces and also maybe over to Ajay.
Okay, let's go, Ajay.
Okay, before I talk about myself, let me just complete the introduction of Nidhi a little bit more.
Okay.
And she happened to be my wife, so obviously I know quite a lot, and I would like to talk about her little more. She is not only engineer, she is master's in telecommunications and then PhD in computer science from IIT Delhi. Before she started her PhD, she worked for 4 years in academia, and she was working with IIT Ghaziabad as assistant professor in the MCA faculty, and after that she worked for telecom company Hugh Software after PhD for 22 years. And literally, when in 2019 we were through with our pilots and we were entering into our growth phase, it was boom for us that Nidhi took it as a challenge that yes, enough is enough for the corporate life and might as well enter. And she joined hands with me. And since then, we are not 1+1, we are actually now 80. We are working together. And Nidhi has taken care of quite a lot of things. And coming from telecom background, and now she is, I would say, she has understood this domain of agriculture and the technology requirements for this domain. Very thorough.
Wonderful. Yeah.
So this is her. I'm an engineer and MBA, but spent my 17 years in corporate life before entering into the entrepreneurship into year 2000. And since last 23 years, I've been working 22 years plus. I've been in entrepreneurship role. This is my second stint in agriculture. First stint was for 12 years, where we had a company which was farmer-centric, and we were dealing directly with the farmers. And we used to set up a physical center at 5 village level in the country, in individual districts. And it was a very holistic solution where we were handling all the requirements of farmers, which includes like backward what they buy, forward what they sell, services like banking, warehousing, insurance, testing services, and also knowledge for uplifting productivity and reduction in cost. So it was quite a holistic solution, but probably we were too early in the game as people were not prepared. And despite we had a very good success, we were in 5 states with 35 districts.
Which states?
We were in Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Himachal Pradesh, and Rajasthan. These were the five states primarily we were in, and in 35 districts, and with 800 such physical centers on a franchise model.
Wow.
And you can say almost minimum 100 farmers per center was the gathering, and somewhere it was around 300 farmers also. So we were doing quite a phenomenal work, and we were considered as messiah of agriculture during those times and all that.
Yeah.
But we were actually not able to solve the problems of the farmer, because the main problem of the farmers at that time was also, and today also, is the marketing of produce, because he can be motivated to increase productivity or reduce techniques for reduction in cost and other things. All the new things he can only adopt if he is assured of the marketing of produce, and which he has not been able to do so, and he has only been doing the distress selling at the mandi. So
Yeah.
the real problem has been, Nidhi, can you put yourself on mute? Yeah. What I was trying to say, the main problem, if while we work with the farmers and we advise them so many technology-driven initiatives for improving the productivity or yield or cost reduction or prevention from diseases, etc. But nothing works, because he says, first thing first, that let me have support to sell the goods first. And if I am not able to sell, then there is nothing which because that is what the main problem came up. And so we had set up then Nia Agro Commodity Marketplace, and made a complete transformative approach to the egg economy, because in India, the egg economy has been completely supply driven as such, even till date.
Right.
Because when we say supply driven economy, it means that people take the goods at the mandi, then they put it on auction. They have no other choice than whatsoever price they get, and they bring it back.
Right.
Now, so and whatsoever supplies it is there, that is the economy. We have not been able to bring demand to the doorsteps of the farmers or producers, or to the stockist or the warehouse, those who are in the supply chain. So the Nia Agro Commodity Company was conceptualized with the total initiative of total thought process and philosophy of to make it 180-degree reverse, that is demand driven, and demand from the ultimate users. And we didn't want to spread thin, and we wanted to be very focused on the main crops of the country, which are the main problems of the farmers. Because most of the farmers are producing wheat, paddy, or maize in grains. Like 90% of the grain is this only. And pulses to some extent. And then oil seeds, it is mustard and soybean. So these are the two main oil seeds. And then for one crop like potato, which is almost very high, 50 million ton gets produced in the country. It's a very high. These are all essential commodities. These all commodities come in essential commodities, and they are very voluminous, almost 300 million metric ton. So we focused on these commodities, and their ultimate users are processing mills.
Yes.
Like wheat goes to flour mill. Ultimately, it has to go to flour mill and some other ancillaries where it gets processed, but it has to go to a processing unit. To get it converted. Similarly, maize has to go to feed. 90% of maize gets converted into feed. Any animal feed or poultry feed or fish aqua feed or human consumption feed. So basically, it gets processed, and so ultimate consumer is mills only. Processing company. Paddy, which is dhan, we call it in Hindi. So paddy has to go to a rice mill to get converted into rice. So and 110 million or 20 million tons gets produced, and it has to go to rice mills. So there is no other. So ultimate consumer is rice mill only. So is like potato. While it is a raw potato, potatoes are also consumed, but 25%. Right now, 10%, but it is expected that it will reach to almost 50% level of processing of potato by 2050. So potato is getting processed a lot.
Right.
Oil seeds like soya, mustard, anyway, it goes to oil
Let me
extracting
just
companies.
stop you there on potato. When
Yeah,
McDonald's opened up in Russia,
yeah.
okay, they wanted a potato supply for their potato, fries. And so they actually had to teach the farmers how to supply them at the right time in the right place. And
Ah, so,
because, their demand for French fries is enormous. And so in India also, we are shifting from cooking at home to processed foods such as
yeah.
French fries and potato chips and so on in snacks. And so basically, even the potato is going through a process rather than
Yeah,
being bought
yeah,
and
and if not
consumed.
100%, it is at least it is the projection says that by 2050,
Yeah.
50% of potato produced in the country will
Yes.
get processed.
Correct. I agree.
So
And what is not bought by them goes into cold storage. So the cold storage is also buying at a wholesale level. So they are the
yeah,
buyers, right?
actually in India, cold storages are being rented out by the farmers. So
Ah,
the good remains in the custody of farmer.
I
In
see.
even though it is in cold storage, but there are not they themselves don't store. But yes, there are stockists, those who have their own dedicated cold storages also. But
Yes.
they are less in number. They are less
Okay.
in number.
All right. Thanks. I was
Yeah,
not aware. Right.
yeah. So primarily, we are into those commodities which are voluminous in nature and which are the problematic areas of the farmers.
Hmm.
Like fruits and vegetables, he is able to sell at much profit. So that is not his problem. If you go to a farmer in India,
Hmm.
you say you will facilitate him in fruits and vegetables. He says, yeah, I'm fine with it. What I want, I am not able to break even in these crops.
Okay.
So,
But
so they,
let me ask you a question.
yeah,
Sometime
please, please.
back, the ITC had said that they have set up some electronic mandis for farmers. Did anything come out of it, or
Yeah, ITC has been my like only competition since 2000.
right?
And while I was opening my centers, so that was ITC was opening each of ours.
Mhm,
But the difference was we were the neutral player where we were acting like an integrator of buyers and sellers, and
mhm.
ITC is just buyer themselves.
Yes,
So
they're a buyer.
so ITC whatsoever they did, they didn't do for other processors,
No,
processing companies. They did it
no,
for themselves, and
right,
so
right.
they had a very typical story where if they have created a soya buying in 1 year, next year you will not find them, and farmers they used to feel troubled because they used to create a hype for them to produce more soya, and next year they
They are
and
not
they
there. Right,
and
right.
they have a very
I
they,
mean, this was the
business.
story in 2004,
Yeah.
5 time frame, right? Yeah.
No, story is still there.
Mhm.
They are coming up with a platform where they
Yes.
will be, but they have not yet come up. They right now still there with each of all
Mm.
initiative.
The
Yes.
Ichopal is the name. Sorry, I forgot. It's
Each of all.
Ichopal, right?
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
was very exciting at that
It
time,
is
but
a,
then
yeah, they
I never
publicize.
saw
Yes.
any follow-up to it.
They have publicized this too much because the chairman's speech of the annual general meeting, first thing he talks about is this only because it attracts everyone. It's
Yeah.
so basically, but they are typical. They are exploiting. They have exploited a lot, and I will not speak good words about ITC,
No, it
though
was
I will.
bound to be exploitative. There was simply no question about it. It was
Yeah,
bound to be
yeah,
exploitative because you are the only player in town
yeah.
and you have control over all the information. So obviously, you're
And
going to get a
they
good.
just paid like in India, there is a concept of MSP, minimum
I
support
know,
price.
I know.
So they just paid 10 rupees more or 15 rupees more than MSP to
Right.
get the. So MSP is minimum support price. It is
Yes.
not it is not the right fair price.
Right.
So it is only to be exercised when no other buyer is there.
So,
So
okay, so you are avoiding the problem of the Ichopal.
yeah, basically, I'm trying to say that we have philosophically developed this whole thing for the producers of this country and also solving the problems of processing companies because processing company they were facing the problem of uh, quality
Yeah.
that if like you said about McDonald's now
Yeah.
McDonald's what is the problem they don't get quality potato
Right. They
or,
don't.
or, or potato as per the schedule or
Right.
as per the packaging specifications
Right.
or
Right.
because if potato one truck is if it remains outside in the sun, it will get spoiled. So
Right.
the scheduling is very important, that if you have to buy 10 trucks in a day,
Right.
you should only get 10 trucks, and tomorrow also if 10 trucks, then 9 trucks also will not be okay, and 11 trucks will not be okay.
Correct.
And here there is total chaotic situation with the buying company, because they don't have reliable suppliers, those who can adhere the scheduling of the supplies, or for that matter quality standards and specifications which can be met. And then there are disputes of always rejections, deductions, etc. So there is a complete supply chain problem vis-a-vis the buying companies are concerned.
Understood.
So while we started the journey, we first of all approached all the buying companies, understood their all requirements, customer requirements, created the infrastructure, soft infrastructure in such a way that we are in a position to capture all their requirements so properly while we are doing the registration, so that we can map them with the right suppliers who can supply them reliably accordingly.
Okay.
So our system foundation is basically on capturing the requirement of individual buying company very, very thoroughly, properly.
Okay.
And there are 5 fundamental parameters or variables which we capture, like what quantities they need to buy, when, in which month, how much quantity, and weekly, what will be the weekly requirement of that week. Then what are the quality specifications which they need, and you will be surprised to know that quality specification also varies from month to month.
Yeah.
So there is a, and then tolerance and deduction chart, that if specification is this, supposedly moisture is 14% allowed, and if they will accept the moisture up to 15%, but beyond 15% it will get rejected.
Right.
So there is a, but there, in between 14 to 15%, there will be a deduction of because
Some
you are
amount.
out some amount. So fundamentally, what I'm trying to say, that second variable is quality, third variable is price at which they intend to buy, fourth variable is payment terms, because some companies they pay immediately on receipt, on delivery, after inspection. Some they say that we will pay after 7 days, some they say after 15 days, and companies like ITC they pay after 30 days.
Right.
So they have different credit lines which are established. And fifth is, which is very important, is location. And which is like a company in Gujarat, though they buy from in certain months from Gujarat only, but in other months they wish to buy from Madhya Pradesh, or in some months they wish to buy from Uttar Pradesh, and in some months they wish to buy from even Bihar, because like maize is a crop which happens is a crop which happens in Rabi season in Bihar only.
Right.
Though it's a kharif crop, September it gets most of it is produced around October, November, harvested around October, November. But in state of Bihar and Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh, it gets harvested in the month of April and May.
Okay.
So depending on the location, so these are the 5 parameters. So basically, what I'm trying to say, that we capture the requirements of the buying company very phenomenally, and so is we capture the supply capabilities of individual producing companies, producers, or stockist, or warehouse. So there are 5, 6 categories of suppliers which we have in our system. So one is stockist, because agriculture commodities, they are produced once in a year. Like wheat gets produced in April and May, but it is consumed all throughout the year, so it has to get stocked somewhere.
Right.
So say these are seasonal produced commodities, so stocking is a very, very important aspect in these. So stockists, they play a very important role.
Yeah.
So producers, they play important role, like farmers during the harvesting season, and then stockists come into the picture. And then there are other traders like commission agents at the mandis. Then there are traders. Then there are various categories of suppliers whom we integrate, but we capture their supply capabilities very thoroughly. that
Yeah.
in which month, how much they can supply and what are the commercial terms they are looking forward to supply. And
Okay.
with this, we do our backend works on the mapping engine, which is the algorithm based, and there are around 40 parameters to match buyers and suppliers.
Okay. So I get it. You are the visible, not the invisible hand of the marketplace, but the visible interface between the buyers and the suppliers. The buyers may be anywhere in the country. The suppliers are atomistic and small. You somehow put them together. It's not a cooperative, but they are part of your scheme. So it's great that you are the modern interface between a few buyers who are large and a large number of small sellers who don't. So asymmetry of information, etc. also you have removed. Okay, I'm glad to hear all this. Now let's hear from Nidhi. What is she contributing to all this? So let's
Oh
put you
my
on
God.
mute and you are a telecom person, a PhD in engineering. So what has all of that got to do with this stuff? I mean, you're not writing the code, somebody else is.
Yeah.
So what are
Yeah.
you doing?
So yes, actually agriculture, if you look at even supply chain and supply chain of ours is of course B2B marketplace, and which is playing a big role in providing benefit and passing on the benefits to both buyers and the suppliers. But how supply chain can be more smoothened, how till last mile technology can play a role, it's a big role technology can play.
Yes.
For example, as Ajay said, there are 30, 40 parameters for mapping buyer and supplier. There itself, we have AIML coming into the picture. Then, of course, we have the whole, everything is from complete supply chain from buyer to supplier is all paperless.
Yes.
Everything is digital, everything is all in real time. In morning hours, the demand comes from buyers who are the institutional buyers on our platform, and there and then it's broadcasted or multicasted depending upon the algorithm, and then the quotation also either through WhatsApp or through calls or through onto the platform, the quotation starts coming, and then the purchase order and all the everything is all, since it is all technology driven, technology is playing in our platform, and also in future we are bringing the blockchain to secure the documentation from end to end. We have all AIML implementations for helping the all the intelligent decisions to be made by the executives or buyers and suppliers. We give the real time data, which is Monday previous prices, arrivals at different places, so that all the buyers and suppliers, they take very uh, they calculated decision whether it's the right price they're getting or not, whether they should go with the right quality or not. So we support through our technology end to end. Of, and you talked about telecom, of course, it's my DNA
No, okay,
because
let me ask you
I.
this. Your platform runs on which languages?
Oh, we're all Microsoft Technologies .NET ASPs and with SQL
No, I don't
enterprise
mean
systems.
technical. I
So,
mean to
yeah.
the farmer. If you, like you said,
Oh, okay, okay, yeah.
Gujarat,
For
I don't want technical language. I want
no, we don't.
The Gujarati buyer who wants to buy from Bihar. Are they in Hindi, English, Gujarati, or a mix of
Yeah,
both?
right now we support English and Hindi,
Yes.
but multilingual is on our plan to bring it,
Yeah.
and it is right now a web, our mobile friendly solution. It's
Yes.
not app right now, but it's a mobile friendly solution as well as on web based solution.
So
So I think, yeah,
Here,
that's a very valid point.
here I would like to only add that it is by choice that we have not gone in for app, because
Yeah,
ours is a real network, not a virtual network.
right.
While to launch an app, there is a situation where thousands of users, they just uh, register on the app, but you are not in a position to give any services to them,
Okay.
because it's a virtual network. So what we have created is a real
yes,
network of
yes.
the known suppliers, where we capture their supply capabilities, and known buyers with whom we have captured their requirements very thoroughly. Yeah, Nidhi, continue, please.
Okay. So where's
No,
your
that's of
how
course,
are you
that is
making
the
your
reason.
money? Let me ask. How are you making money? I don't see any money coming.
No,
So
no, no,
where's
no, no.
your
We are not a philanthropic company.
right?
So we are a business entity, and
Yeah.
from the day one, it's a business model which is in place, and
Yeah,
we
we
have. we
Yeah,
have,
go on, go on.
we have already established 3 revenue streams very properly out of the 5 revenue streams which were planned from the day one. So the
Yes.
first revenue stream is commission, which we charge from the suppliers uh, only, not from buyers.
Right.
So because we consider suppliers as our partners and buyers are customers jointly for both of us,
Okay.
because we are handling the marketing, we are solving the marketing problem of the
Seller.
suppliers,
Right.
sellers.
Right.
So that way we charge 1% commission
That's
of
all.
that's all.
Wow.
And
That is only marketplace. He was,
No, I
but
understand 1%. That's very low.
Yeah.
no, 1% in volume terms when you, because it's a we deal only in trucks, not in smaller quantities.
Yeah,
So
obviously.
our one transaction runs into, say, in rupees terms is 7.5 lakh to 10 lakh rupees. So
Yes.
that's a minimum one truck value.
Yes.
And in terms of 10, so you can say $10,000 to plus.
So forget dollars. Let's talk rupees.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that way, what I'm only trying to say, this is the first revenue stream. Second
Yeah.
revenue stream, from the day one, like I told you that we wanted to be only in few select commodities,
Yes.
and we didn't want to cover up everything and anything because there are hundreds of commodities which are there. So we have like, since we have developed our soft infrastructure, just like Amazon built it for themselves and now Amazon supplies it. So we are now supplying our soft infrastructure to different, so 2 pilots have already been done, one
Okay.
for mango and one for millets. So
Yeah.
now millets is, as we are wanting to looking for a buyer of millet also. Now,
That's
so that
pure
is
revenue to you.
okay, yeah,
Or-
pure, that's
yeah,
a pure
you're just
technology
providing
revenue.
your platform and
Yeah,
charging
yeah.
people to use your
yes,
platform.
yes, we are providing SaaS solution and
Yeah,
SaaS
that's a
model
SaaS,
for
right?
others
Okay,
to set
I
up
got
there.
it. I
Yes.
got
Yeah,
it.
and
All right.
third revenue stream is on services,
Yeah.
which are the value-added services, which are going to be the game changer of future. Because, like I told you, quality is the biggest problem, and
Yeah.
in spot trade, quality further becomes the biggest problem because you need to get the quality certification there and then. Once it gets come on for the bidding.
Yes.
So when it comes to the collection center, then there itself you need to certify the quality. Then only you can sell it pan India basis.
Right.
So,
Understood.
so quality certification, then helping in them into better logistics and transportation.
Yeah.
Then services like warehousing support, and also trade finance services, where we are partnered with Axis Bank, where
Oh, okay.
so their trade solution is with us. So our buyers and sellers can avail trade finance, which is basically factoring and reverse factoring. So factoring for the suppliers and reverse factoring for the buyers.
Could you
Bill
explain that?
bill discounting. Basically, if the credit period is 30 days, so your invoice supplier, when he raises an invoice, that's a bill. So bill can be discounted by financiers.
Right.
So that is, we call it bill discounting, and
Yeah.
it helps the credit period to reduce from, say, 30 days to 3 days.
Right.
So
Understood.
within 48 hours, the money gets credited to suppliers, so that cash flow improves, and
But
so
you
is the
charge a commission for that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So these are the services which are going to be the game changer, because these are the problems of supply chain. So we have integrated a lot of service providers,
So-
like I told you.
So you have fintech along with Agtech.
Yes.
Because you
Fintech
can't
and
really, yeah, you have to do fintech along with Agtech. You can't just,
Exactly.
yeah, this is,
but fintech not of credit.
no, I
Fintech of
understood.
trade finance.
Fintech is on so many different, you are
Yeah.
not just providing credit, you are just providing cash flow improvement, right?
Cash flow improvement.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yes, and solving the problem of both buyer and sellers, so that
Sure.
they can increase the volume
Yeah.
phenomenally. Because
Yeah.
if their cash flow cycle gets improved,
Yeah.
so they definitely they are able to do multiple transactions in a.
Okay.
So
All right,
these are the
wonderful.
third revenue streams, and fourth revenue stream, which we are in discussion with Vivek Vega. So to bring in precision, because now we have network of 7.5 lakh farmers.
Oh, you are
So
in touch with Vivek?
Vivek, they are partnering, they are wanting to partner with us in
Okay.
precision agriculture. Already one company has already partnered with us, Satyuk.
Okay.
Satyu from Bangalore.
Yeah.
So they right now we are following their revenue model
Yeah.
on precision agriculture. So they are sharing 25% revenue with us. So that
Okay.
is a cost of around $35, or rather, I should talk in rupees only. So
Yeah. Yeah.
3,000.
Just talking
Yeah,
rupees.
yeah, 3,000 rupees per hectare is the
Yeah.
cost, which, but it provides all the 9-10 services to farmer, which are the basic requirements of the farmer.
Yeah.
So that's the fourth. And fifth is which we are going to come for the real-time data of farmers. Right now, we are following a aggregator model of farmers through FPO, Farmer Producing
Yeah. Yeah.
Organization.
Yeah. Yeah.
So around 550 FPO, those who are with us, so they give the static data to us. Now
Yeah.
we are going with a solution to them. We already have a solution for them, but we now each farmer will get a digital identity to provide his dynamic data on month-to-month basis
What
of
is
production.
dynamic data? Everyday entry or
No,
what is
not
that?
every day, month to month.
Month to month. Okay.
Month to month, whereby like though initially in the year when he plants, he probably might have thought of doing say 60% of wheat and 40% of mustard in Rabi crop, but probably with the change circumstances, he might at the time of sowing he might shift to 80% or to wheat and 20% to mustard, or 80% to mustard and so they
Yeah.
now
Understood. Okay.
so there is a change, and then accordingly harvesting and production plan gets changed.
Okay.
So we capture so that is which will be on subscription model. So around 1,000 rupees for farmers, which will be charging. Already discussed with a lot of FPOs, and they are all very excited about it because they are
Okay.
already our. So we'll be coming up with our app by 26 January this or of not we were targeting 15th August, but 15th August may not be possible. But by
Okay.
26 January we'll be launching that revenue
Okay.
stream also. So
Wonderful.
there are 5 revenue streams with us.
Okay, so good. So, we cannot just be charities. We need to bring technology. There's a cost to it. And there's some money to be made. And I'm an economist, so I support the idea. You need to
From the
make
day
some.
one. Yeah,
But
we are no we are not in philanthropy.
no, there's a good place for philanthropy, which I am not against at all. I'm supporting some, but there's also a place for market-driven innovation in technology. And certainly, I'm glad to have talked to you. Is there anything else
But
you would like to add?
definitely, yeah, but definitely, I mean, we are not in philanthropy directly, but it is helping. I would say the farmers and FPOs and the people at the ground level. It is reducing the food wastage. It is giving better economic advantages to the much needed sector, which is agriculture.
Yeah,
So that way, I think I am very very happy and very very
No, I am very
continue
happy too. I am very happy
to
too, because
getting this opportunity to
yeah,
work in agriculture.
the idea that you can help farmers only through charity is outdated. You bring a technology that is win-win,
Absolutely.
and you take some of the profits and they get some of the profits, and that's the right way. That's today's way.
Yes, enablement is better charity. Enablement is better way than
I agree.
doing
I
charity
agree fully.
once.
This is, this is what I write these days. That listen, we can't just wait on a model that says I'm just giving away the technology, because there's no way you can give away the technology, because you have heavy costs in producing it, and
very heavy cost now.
yeah, it's a very heavy cost. You are taking the risk.
Technology is expensive.
Yeah, it's expensive, and you are taking the risk because it's your money or somebody else's money. It's not the farmer's money.
And Mr. Mathur, this sector, we knew about it that the margins are not going to be high. You were shocked at 1%, but even to absorb 1% is also a difficult task in this supply chain. Because what I'm trying to say, being a low margin business, if you don't charge, you will be out of place.
No, you have to charge. No, I'm all for it. I'm all for it that you need to charge. You need to find a business model that works for the farmer and the buyer and for you. Win-win-win all the way around. Everybody has to be in this game. This is the only way we can quickly bring emerging technology. I mean, I grew up in the 60s before you, and that time the Green Revolution brought us from a food short country to a food adequate and now surplus, right?
Yes, abundance.
Right. I mean, there's abundant. Well, that's not quite, because people are still hungry. But
no distribution. Yes.
Yeah, that's it. Let's not have the discussion. But we
Yeah.
need to change. We, as Nidhi, you said 20%. Actually, rural GDP is only 14%. Share is only 14%, and 40% of the labor force is in that. So it's a totally unproductive system, and we can't afford to have 40% of our people producing 14% of the GDP. It leads to inequalities of all kinds, and stagnant rural areas means crowded large cities because people
Yeah.
leave and they come to large cities and crowd them. Anyway, I'm going
Yeah.
into my own
So
thinking now.
talking about the food, yes, it is going to be scarcity of food in 2050 because demand is going to be double the way population is
Okay.
growing,
Yeah.
especially of the country now we are the highest populated, going to be highest populated
Okay.
country in the world. So demand is going to be increasing likewise.
Wonderful. I'm so happy to have talked to you, and best of luck in all your efforts. And if you become associated with Vega MX, you might see more of me, though I have no real contractual obligation with them, but I'm involved in a non-charitable way, let's put it this way. One day I
No,
hope
no,
to
no.
also, one
We
day I
will,
also hope to turn it into a revenue stream for me. But
no,
so
Mr.
far,
Mathur, it was so pleasantly, it was a pleasant discussion with you, and
Yes.
it is very nice that we have had a discussion.
yeah,
So,
I'm happy because, as I told you right up front, I think, Agtech and FinTech are the only ways forward. FPO is a good idea. And certainly the union government is to be commended for the FPOs. But the FPOs ultimately don't provide the marketing enough. I mean, Amul is, of course, people don't think of it as an FPO, but it is the original.
they followed the cooperative model.
Yeah, it's the original FPO, and they provided marketing, and that was the only way that they could make it work, because until you get the revenue stream, the farmers can't be more productive. Okay, thank you so much. We have had a
Yes,
very,
yes,
very
Thank you.
happy
Thanks
discussion.
for giving us this opportunity.
No,
It's
no, no,
very nice
I'm very happy. Okay,
being
let's
with
stop
you.
the recording and say bye to the viewers, and I'll be back with other enterprising people soon. But for the moment, bye.